Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tamika Collins and this is my YouTube page. I hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, midnight hour. We are reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelations on these episodes here. And we are in Judges, the 10th chapter. We recap. I thought I felt a yawn coming on. I'm sorry. We recap. So, let's recap. All right. So, in chapter 8, Gideon kills Zebah and Zalumna. I can't get that right. Their names right. In chapter 9, Abimelech, Gideon's son, rules over Shechem, and he, Abimelech, kills his half-brothers, all of them, wanted to be the leader and was a mean leader, and in thinking he was going to kill more people, was outwitted, and a boulder, was rolled to fall on top of his head, and even in death, he was prideful and asked to be killed by the sword of his armor-bearer so that his soldiers wouldn't know that a woman rolled the boulder that crushed his head. Now we're in chapter 10. I'm telling you, this word speaks. It speaks. Oh my gosh. Lord, help us, Lord. Help us all. Okay, we're in chapter 10. And it reads, Tola becomes Israel's judge. After Abimelech died, Tola, son of Puah, son of Dodo, was the next person to rescue Israel. He was from the tribe of Issachar, but lived in the town of Shamir in the hill country of Ephraim. He judged Israel for 23 years. When he died, he was buried in Shamir. After Tola died, Jair from Gilead judged Israel for 22 years. His 30 sons rode around on 30 donkeys, and they owned 30 towns in the land of Gilead, which are still called the towns of Jair. When Jair died, he was buried in Kaman. Again, the Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight. They served the images of Baal and Ashtoreth and the gods of Aram, Sidon, Moab, Ammon, and Philistia. They abandoned the Lord and no longer served him at all. So the Lord burned with anger against Israel, and he turned them over to the Philistines and the Ammonites, who began to oppress them that year. For 18 years they oppressed all the Israelites east of the Jordan River in the land of the Ammonites, that is in Gilead. The Ammonites also crossed to the west side of the Jordan and attacked Judah, Benjamin, and Ephraim. The Israelites were in great distress. Finally, they cried out to the Lord for help, saying, We have sinned against you because we have abandoned you as our God and have served the images of Baal. The Lord replied, Did I not rescue you from the Egyptians, the Amorites and the Ammonites, the Philistines, the Sidonians, the Amalekites, and the Maonites? When they oppressed you, you cried out to help for me to help you, and I rescued you. You have abandoned me and served other gods, so I will not rescue you anymore. Go and cry out to the gods you have chosen. Let them rescue you for your hour of distress. But the Israelites pleaded with the Lord and said, We have sinned. Punish us as you see fit. Only rescue us today from our enemies. Then the Israelites put aside their foreign gods and served the Lord, and he was grieved by their misery. At that time, the armies of Ammon had gathered for war and were camped in Gilead, and the people of Israel assembled and camped at Mizpah. The leaders of Gilead said to each one another, "Whoever attacks the Ammonites will become ruler over all the people of Gilead." Chapter 11. Jephthah becomes Israel's judge. Now Jephthah of Gilead was a great warrior. He was the son of Gilead, but his mother was a prostitute. Gilead's wife also had several sons, and when these half-brothers grew up, they chased Jephthah off the land. "You will not get any of our father's inheritance," they said, "for you are the son of a prostitute." So Jephthah fled from his brothers and lived in the land of Tob. Soon he had a band of worthless rebels following him. At this time, the Ammonites began their war against Israel. When the Ammonites attacked, the elders of Gilead sent for Jephthah in the land of Tob. The elders said, "Come and be our commander. Help us to fight the Ammonites." But Jephthah said to them, "Aren't you the ones who hated me and drove me out of my father's house? Why do you come to me now when you're in trouble?" "Because we need you," the elders cried. "If you lead us into battle against the Ammonites, we will make you the ruler over all the people of Gilead." Jephthah said to the elders, "Let me get this straight. If I come with you, and if the Lord gives me victory over the Ammonites, you will really make me the ruler over the people?" "The Lord is our witness." The Lord is our witness, the elders replied. "Excuse me, I knew it was coming. We promise to do whatever you say." So Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him the ruler and the commander of the army. As Mizpah, in the presence of the Lord, Jephthah repeated what he said to the elders. Then Jephthah sent messengers to the king Ammon, asking, "Why have you come out to fight against my land?" The king of Ammon answered Jephthah's messengers, "When the Israelites came out of Egypt, they stole my land from the Arnon River to the Jabbok River, and all the way to the Jordan. Now then, give back the land peacefully." Jephthah sent the message back to the Ammonite king. This is what Jephthah says: "Israel did not steal any of your land from Moab to Ammon. When the people of Israel arrived at Kadesh on their journey from Egypt after crossing the Red Sea, they sent messengers to the king of Edom asking for permission to pass through this land, but their request was denied. Then they asked the king of Moab for similar permission, but he wouldn't let them pass through either. So the people of Israel stayed in Kadesh. Finally, they went around Edom and Moab and through the wilderness. They traveled along Moab's eastern border and camped on the other side of the Arnon River, but they never once crossed the Arnon River into Moab, for the Arnon was the border of Moab. Then Israel sent messengers to King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled from Heshbon, asking for permission to cross his land to get to their destination. But King Sihon didn't trust Israel to pass through his land. Instead, he mobilized his army at Jahaz and attacked them. But the Lord, the God of Israel, gave his people victory over King Sihon. So Israel took control of all the land of the Amorites, who lived in that region, from the Arnon River to the Jabbok River, and from the eastern wilderness to the Jordan. So you see, it was the Lord, the God of Israel, who took away the land from the Amorites and gave it to Israel. Why, then, should we give it back to you? You kept whatever your God Shemosh gives you, and you keep whatever your God Shemosh gives you, and we will keep whatever the Lord our God gives us. Are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever Did he try to make a case against Israel for disputed land? Did he go to war against them? Israel has been living here for 300 years, inhabiting Heshbon and its surrounding settlements, all the way to Aroer and its settlements, and in all the towns along the Arnon River. Why have you made no effort to recover it before now? Therefore, I have not sinned against you. Rather, you have wronged me by attacking me. Let the Lord, who is judge, decide today which of us is right, Israel or Ammon. But the king of Ammon paid no attention to Jephthah's message. At the time, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he went throughout the land of Gilead and Manasseh, including Mizpah and Gilead. And from there he led the army against the Ammonites. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord. He said, if you give me victory over the Ammonites, I will give the Lord whatever comes out of my house to meet me when I returned in triumph. I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering. So Jephthah led his army against the Ammonites, and the Lord gave him victory. He crushed the Ammonites, devastating them 20 towns from Aroer to the area near Minnith, and as far away as Abel Keramim. In this way, Israel defeated the Ammonites. When Jephthah returned home to Mizpah, his daughter came out to meet him, playing on the tambourine and dancing for joy. She was his one and only child. He had no other sons or daughters. When he saw her, he tore his clothes in anguish. "Oh, my daughter," he cried out, "you have completely destroyed me. You've brought disaster on me, for I have made a vow to the Lord and cannot take it back." And she said, "Father, if you have made a vow to the Lord, you must do to me whatever you have vowed, for the Lord has given you victory over your enemies, the Ammonites. But first, let me do this one thing. Let me go up and roam in the hills and weep with my friends for 2 months, because I will die a virgin." "You may go," Jephthah said, and he sent her away for 2 months. She and her friends went into the hills and wept because she would never have children. When she returned home, her father kept the vow he had made to her, and she died a virgin. So it has become a custom in Israel for a young Israelite to go away for 4 days each year to lament the fate of Jephthah's daughter. Oh. This is chapter 12. Ephraim fights with Jephthah. Then the people of Ephraim mobilized an army and crossed over the Jordan River. We got to be careful what we ask for. Ooh. I have learned that, and I be trying. I be like, Lord, I got to watch my mouth. Because he said, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So that means we got to be careful what we ask for. We got to be careful what we say. And I know some people don't like when people get silent. But if I'm silent, if I'm not saying anything, please let me be. Please let me be. Because I don't want to say anything that's going to be harsh and cruel and wrong. So I'd rather just be quiet and let the Lord fight my battle and calm me down and get me together, so that whenever I do speak, that it's coming from a place of love. But it's right, and it's just because I don't want to speak out of anger or out of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just be me speaking. Okay, so Ephraim fights with Jephthah. Chapter 12. Then the people of Ephraim mobilized an army and crossed over the Jordan River to Jephthah. They sent this message to Jephthah: "Why didn't you call us for help to help you fight against the Ammonites? We are going to burn down your house with you in it." Jephthah replied, I summoned you at the beginning of the dispute, but you refused to come. You failed me. You failed to help us in our struggle against Amnon. So when I realized you weren't coming, I risked my life and went to battle without you, and the Lord gave me victory over the Ammonites. So why have you now come to fight? Why is everybody mad that they ain't get to come fight? What was you mad about? You know, if you weren't supposed to be there, you weren't supposed to be there. Okay. The people of Ephraim responded, you men of Gilead are nothing more than fugitives from Ephraim and Manasseh. So Jephthah gathered all the men of Gilead and attacked the men of Ephraim and defeated them. Jephthah captured the shallow crossings of the Jordan River, and whenever a fugitive from Ephraim tried to go back across, the men of Gilead would challenge him, are you a member of the tribe of Ephraim? They would ask. If the man said, no, I'm not, they would tell him to say, Shibboleth. If he was from Ephraim, he would say Sibboleth, because people from Ephraim cannot pronounce the word correctly. Then they would take him and kill him at the shallow crossings of the Jordan. And all 42,000 Ephraimites were killed at the same time. Jephthah judged Israel for 6 years. Then when he died, he was buried in one of the towns of Gilead. After Jephthah died, Ebzan from Bethlehem judged Israel. He had 30 sons and 30 daughters. Boy, people was having babies, boy, I'm telling you. Well, they did have multiple wives too, so. But they took that be fruitful and multiply to 10th power. It's all good, it's all good, it's all good. We gotta multiply. He sent his daughters to marry men outside his clan, and he brought in 30 young women from outside his clan to marry his sons. As Ibzan judged Israel for 7 years. When he died, he was buried in Bethlehem. After Ibzan died, Elon from the tribe of Zebulun judged Israel for 10 years. When he died, he was buried at Ajalon in Zebulun. After Elon died, Abdon, son of Hillel from Pirathon, judged Israel. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons who rode on 70 donkeys. He judged Israel for 8 years. When he died, he was buried in Pirathon in Ephraim, in the hill country of the Amalekites. All right, next is the birth of Samson. Another one of my good stories. You hear all the good, you hear all the main stories of the Bible. And now we're getting into what happened before and between and betwixt on from reading the Bible from the beginning to the end, which is one of the reasons that what I did. I love reading things in completeness. I'm a stickler for not like starting series unless I start from the beginning to the end. Even reading books, I want to read the beginning to the end of the book. Like, I don't want to start from the middle. I don't want to just read the ending. I don't want to hear the summary of it unless you have to or something type thing. But I would rather read it from the beginning to the end. I would rather start something from the beginning and finish it to the end. It's a little OCD in me, I guess. But anyway, I hope you are enjoying yourself, reading with me, learning with me. I hope you have a great rest of the morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, midnight hour. And we'll see you back here next time. I was like, my things are sparkling. Duh, they have glitter in them. These things are so cute. I love them. Love them. I didn't know how they were going to look on my face. And then at first I was like, oh, that might be a little too big. But I like them. I hope you like them. Anyway, have a good day, and I'll see you later.